Okay, this has been a project 4 years in the making, mainly because I'm not very accomplished at this. I filled out the application, but I didn't know that there was only a certain period of time when they were accepted by the Texas Historical Commission. So that put us behind another year. And then I started doing research down at the deed records at the county courthouse. Ended up with one of those big books knocking me flat on the ground, so I called on Janet to haul the books for me and to also interpret the books. And Janet even went to the state archives to get the 1860 census, which was very helpful. I went off and left my notebook that had all this in it. Well, sorry. I also am privileged to have a rare book, which is the Indian Wars and Pioneers of Texas, in which the first Sam Easley is written up. He was born in 1826. He was the son of John King Easley of Easley, South Carolina. The family was a family of planters, and Sam was reared to that pursuit. He married Easley Sloan in 1848, and wanting to be independent, moved to Williamson County. They had heard that there was a tract of land in Williamson County that was supposed to be really fine. Sam built the second cotton gin in the county. He served in the legislature, and during the Civil War he organized a regiment and was elected colonel. Thus the title he carried the rest of his life. Brad, come help me file those papers. Yeah. The Easley and Sloan families came by wagon train to Williamson County in 1852. The families brought with them slaves, many of whom are rumored to be buried outside this iron fence. The families chose an elevated place above the San Gabriel River to build their first cabins. The families bought together 3,340 acres. Not 3,600 acres as I had always been told. And now this is something I ran into doing this research. The folk tales I'd heard all of my life were not really that true. So everything I'm talking about today is documented in the courthouse or in the archives, okay? No more folk tales.
Interpreted by you.
But anyway, the families bought rich black farm land from William Ashworth. William Ashworth was not a freed slave who had been awarded the land for his service in the Texas War of Independence, as I had always been told, and is even in some of the written accounts of the family's history. Instead, he was one of the 300 families that Stephen F. Austin chose to colonize Texas. A family was required to have sufficient funds to plant and harvest crops for at least 2 years and to build a home. The family was also required to become Catholic. Now remember, this is 1834 and we were Mexico. The families paid $1.50 an acre for the land. The deed, not 50 cents as I had always been told. The deed bears an X for Ashworth. However, that does not mean that he was illiterate. What it does mean was that he was not here, but in Orange County, where he had been awarded another property that he preferred. The clerk sent the deed to him, and the X marked his approval. Ashworth also came from the Carolinas. So it is kind of thought that the Easley Sloans heard of Williamson County back in the Carolinas. Robert Easley is the first person buried here. He died soon after his arrival in 1852, and Sam Easley inherited his share. Elizabeth Easley, born 1798, died 1874, was the only family member born in the 1700s. She was the one who chose this site for the cemetery, for its beauty and for its sense of peace, and for a place to bury her son Robert. Many relatives of the two families are buried within the iron fence and continue to be buried here. The most recent, Aline Prude Easley, my mother, born 1899, died 1987, the wife of Sam Easley IV. As of this writing, 32 family members are buried here. Unfortunately, there is no record of those buried outside the fence. Some Sloan descendants decided not to be buried here after a strange occurrence in 1960 when, despite the remoteness of this cemetery, you all know how remote it is. You tried to get here. But anyway, someone tunneled around Kate Sloan's coffin, who had been buried in 1959, trying to raise the coffin. Whether the task was too onerous or they were scared away, we will never know. The cemetery is on land owned by an Easley, that would be me, and I'm the daughter of Sam Easley IV. Both the Easley and the Sloan farms are designated by the state to be members of the Farm Heritage Program. To be a member of that heritage program, the farm has to be run by the same family for at least 100 years. The Easleys and the Sloans continue to care for the cemetery. That would be Charles Carlton, Janet, and me. Repairing the iron gate, mowing, caring for the oak trees, and the iris. Thanks to Janet, they're now all over the cemetery. They used to just be in that northwest corner. They are called cemetery flowers. Did you know that? Because they're perennials. Both families have members who intend to either have their ashes scattered or their bodies buried in this sacred place. And now, Charlie, if you would, or Brad, you're here, remove the rug and show the medallion.
Do the unveiling.
Do the unveiling. And you better pull it around. There we are. We are proud of that.